Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the ultimate guide to PvP. So basically in this video, I will be giving you tips on how to become better at PvP. But anyways, let's get started. Okay, so the first tip is going to be the most important tip, and it's actually MS. And basically, if you don't know what an MS is, it's a macro that allows you to time your hits perfectly to get the best hit reg. So basically, my main MS is blur auto clicker, and this is my MS. It's like you could just copy down all these settings. There's no scrolling, it's all just this. And basically, you can come over here, and I can show you the hit reg. So it's consistent 34, and before I show you anything, I'm going to say that hit reg matters, but also bow reg matters for later turns. So basically, you see he gets 34 hit reg, but if you spawn, hold on, the hit reg is important, but also bow reg is also important. So you want an MS that has a pretty fast like bow hit reg. So basically what that means is when you switch to your bow, you want it to be like fast so that you can get better like knockback and you can get easier combos when you have a crossbow. Okay, so if you don't want to use blur auto clicker, the most popular auto clicker is speed auto clicker. Here's an MS that I recommend. It has a pretty good bow reg. And like this, it has a pretty good bow reg, so it's pretty good. And here's the hit reg. So as you can see, it's pretty consistent, pretty fast hit reg. You see it can stutter a little bit, but that happens with speed auto clicker, and that's why I don't recommend it. Speed auto clicker can stutter a little bit. As you can see, it got 34 hits. And what I recommend, if you have a mouse, I recommend using the software. Here's some MSs that I've made for Gmo, if you have Gmo, since it's pretty popular. But yeah, anyways, that's the MS section. Have an MS that's not only fast hit reg, but fast bow reg too. Yeah, that's the MS section. Okay, so the next method of PvP is actually tracking, and tracking you could argue is the most important behind MS. And basically what tracking is you have this little cursor in the middle, and your goal is to keep your cursor on your enemy for like the best you can. And I'm going to show you a couple tips on how to get better tracking, and the first tip is actually to go here, create a custom, browse maps, put orange PvP map, and then you click. You could do either one of these, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay, so basically when you spawn in, you're going to want to set server visibility to public, and this is optional, but I recommend setting it to 2 so that you're only PvPing one person and there's not like 4 people just randomly third partying. Turn off the kits, turn on the map restrictions. Okay, so when you spawn in, you just spawn in on this map, and then eventually someone will join and you will get to PvP them, and basically this will help you get used to your tracking, and it'll help warm up. You could do this to warm up your tracking and whatnot, but basically someone joins and you can just PvP them and work on your tracking a little bit and get used to the Bedwars physics of tracking. Okay, so as you can see, someone has joined, and actually you have to pay attention to the chat because you might have to spawn them in, so you have to go players and then just set their team to whatever. And now they join, and you could just PvP them over and over again and try to work on your tracking and get better at tracking. And you know, I lost that, but it's whatever because I'm working on my tracking. Okay, so my next tip is using Aim Labs, but apparently Aim Labs is paid now. So I was using it for like things before. I was using it to track. There's a tracking thing, but apparently I have to subscribe now. But it's really helpful. I highly recommend it. You have to download it off Steam, but I guess if you can't get it, you could just keep doing, you know, the PvPs or late games, and you can really get better at tracking. But yeah, I'm sorry, this was kind of a scuff section. Okay, so for the final category, it's going to be called switching. And basically what switching is when you have your heavy weapons, right? And it's your ability to switch between your bow and other items, the most important being your crossbow. Because obviously in normal games, you're not going to be like late game where you're pearling behind. You're going to want to conserve your pearls because you're not going to have this many, and galoops. So basically the most important part is your crossbow. Basically you could do like timing mechanisms. You can do like this, 1 2 3 bow, 1 2 3 bow. And basically what this does is if you execute it perfectly, it can do like a crazy amount of knockback, which allows you to get easy combos. And basically that's switching with your crossbow. You just hold it out and just do this, and it can help you with combos. And then next you could use this switching for late game scenarios. So you can basically, with your PvPing, right, and then you can bow them and then pearl behind them and then get some extra couple hits. And you can also do this bow fireball, and then you can do more knockback to get more combos. And then if you really want to get complicated, you can bow fireball and then pearl behind to get like crazy combos. But that's the switching category, and those are all the generic tips I have for PvP. So now I'm just gonna be like playing some late game clips with some of the tips.